Forget delaying it, just ditch it. As the president asked Congress to postpone a vote on striking Syria, Republican Senator Rand Paul says it's time to strike the vote itself. To the senator now on what kind of response he's been getting. Senator, what kind of response?
Well, we've been getting thousands of phone calls, and probably 97% against being involved in the Syrian civil war. Anecdotally, when I meet GIs from my state or parents of GIs, we get not a no, but a hell no about going into the Syrian civil war.
John McCain was just here, Senator, saying we do have to get involved in this, that we do have to give a very clear signal to Bashar Assad that this cannot and will not be tolerated, and relying on promises from the Russian president is not going to cut it.
Well, I guess my problem is today, on the anniversary of 9/11, we ought to remember who attacked us, Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is now involved in the Syrian civil war on the side of the Islamic rebels that some in my party want to support. I think it's a mistake.
Well, he said, just to clarify, sir, he said, just to clarify, that there is a way to distinguish between the Al-Qaeda elements and those more friendly, and that we would not be doing that. You say there's no way to ascertain that?
Well, I say it's very difficult. You know, in Afghanistan, we have people joining the Afghan army who say they're allies of America. I love America, until you turn around and they shoot you in the back. We've had 100 of our soldiers, American soldiers, killed by people who pretended to be our friends. So when people line up in Syria and say, oh, please give me a Stinger missile, please give me a man-pad, I'm ready to be for America, can we trust them when they line up in that line? I think it's very difficult to distinguish friend from foe. The Joint Chief of Staff's Martin Dempsey, he said as much several times. It's very difficult to determine friend from foe.
You know, Senator, since your name often gets mentioned as a possible presidential candidate, I know you don't like to talk about that stuff. Maybe now isn't the time. Maybe you'll raise that with me another time. I wonder what your foreign policy then would be as president, or what you think any president's foreign policies would be with regard to the Middle East. Would it, for President Paul, would it be just let them deal with this stuff, not us?
You know, I consider myself to be a realist on foreign policy. I think we do have American interest in the Middle East. I think we need to and would defend our allies over there. Turkey's a NATO ally. Israel's a long-standing ally. Jordan's a long-standing ally. So we do have interest over there, but also have a very high bar for sending our kids to war. And the way I look at war is a very personal way. I look at it as if I were sending one of my sons or one of your sons to war. It's not that we won't fight, but then when we do fight, we have to have a clear American interest, a clear military objective, and a clear desire and a goal to win. You know, the goal of the Obama administration in Syria is stalemate, and they say every day there's no military solution. So if there's no military solution, why are they proposing a military solution?
You know, that doesn't exactly jibe with your dad. When I talked to him, his view was more or less, as you know, Senator, you know, what the hell are we doing over there? Who are we siding up with there? Who are our friends there? Good money after bad there. Enough with it there. That's pretty much the gist of what he said.
Well, you know, you may not agree with your dad on every issue either, Neil. So sometimes
so you don't agree with him on this one?
Sometimes we don't. No, I would say in general we seem to be somewhat on the same side of it, but we may not be exactly in the same place. But what I would say is that our foreign policy needs to be constitutional. It needs to not be rash. And when we go to war reluctantly, but when we go to war, we go all in, we go to win.
You know, and you've heard this before from those who argue within the party, the Chris Christies, to a degree, the John McCain's, who might say, again, if you were to ever become president, well, he's going to be weak on terror. What do you say?
You know, I think one of the few things that we've told the world since 9/11 is that, well, we won't be trifled with, we won't be attacked, and that if you kill our citizens, you are going to pay the ultimate price. And I think this is true, and it's an important message to send the world. But the other part of the message is that we won't always be involved in the affairs of every other nation. But if you attack America, if you attack our soldiers, then absolutely we'll respond with overwhelming force. That's the lesson of 9/11. And that's why when people say, oh, this president not acting and drawing a red line threatens the credibility of America. No, I think the credibility of America and how we will respond when attacked is very foremost and present for those who remember 9/11.
You know, there are many of your colleagues on the left and right, Senator,